They're here.
When I heard that Private Rivers of the non-existent Pacific Division needs to have a meeting with me, I thought, oh, what a lucky girl I am. But then I started thinking, who is Private Rivers? And why should I treat him as anything other than the deserter he is? So right now I'm hoping you give me a good reason why I shouldn't just skip the court-martial and execute you where you stand.
This is bullshit.
And who do we have here? A brave scavenger? Rivers, do you always bring unauthorized civilians to fight your battles for you?
We would have got to you sooner if you hadn't pulled out all your troops from Pasadena. People died there because of you!
And what did you do about it? Did you pick up a gun and fight back? Or did you run like you sewer rats always do?
Jennifer's right. There's no need for any of that.
Yeah. Today is all about Private Rivers. So what can you tell me that I don't know already?
A few weeks ago, the outpost I was stationed at was ambushed by a Terminator, I think. It was half man, half machine. The entire Pacific Division was wiped out by a single enemy.
Half man, half machine? What are you talking about? How did your men let an enemy get that close to you?
We didn't know it was a machine. It could walk, talk, bleed, sweat. There was no way to distinguish it as an enemy. It infiltrated us perfectly.
This infiltrator, is it still alive?
I'm not sure.
Okay, for now keep everything to yourself. I don't want any rumors, especially since you only think you saw something. Skynet's coming! We're not done here yet, Rivers. Take this plasma. You're a resistance soldier. Time to act like one. To your positions!
Drones! Up there!
I'm sorry about before. And I'm sorry about your soldiers.
No need for that. You'll have a hard time getting up every morning if you dwell on that too much. Machines don't do that, and if we want to destroy them, neither can we. Rivers, since Pacific Division no longer exists, you will now answer to me. That makes you a part of TechCom. Congratulations. No more sitting around waiting for Skynet to come to you. Over here, we go out there and meet the enemy face on. This is it. Resistance Shelter, South Division. Baron, DN 38217.
Commander.
They're with me.
Where are the others? Where's my husband?
They're dead. Over here's our quartermaster. If you need anything beyond the standard issue equipment, work it out with him. And here's Alvin, residing Chief Egghead.
I prefer Laboratory Director.
Like I said, Egghead. He supplies all TechCom units with weapon modifications.
Everything looks well organized.
It is. Everyone pulls their weight here. If someone doesn't, we become weak. And you can probably imagine where I stand on being weak. I'll get right to it. There's a reason I decided to meet you. We intercepted some interesting data. It turns out you're part of a prestigious group. A group of people that Skynet marked for termination. See, John Connor, the leader of the Resistance, is #1 on that list. Then there's me. I know, I'm flattered. Every day, we lead, we fight, and we plan on how to destroy Skynet's central core. So I know exactly why we're on that fucking list. But why would Private Rivers be #3?
That infiltrator said something about me being marked for termination.
Huh. Interesting. I'll have to have a word with Connor about that. And that brings me to my second point, your first assignment. After the Annihilation Line got to Pasadena, Skynet started building installations there. I want you to go there and collect some intel, so we know what we're up against.
Sounds dangerous.
It will be. Check with Alvin before you go. He'll have something for you. Remember, you might be valuable to Skynet, but the way I see it, you're still a private. Dismissed. And Rivers, civilians don't need to know about what happened out there.
Crawling through the shelter earlier almost gave me a heart attack.
You wanted to see me?
You're finally here. Good. I have a special task for you. I want you to head downtown to check on the doctor.
Doctor?
Alvin. He's out there making sure that our defense systems are working properly. Ever since we went radio silent, I had a small team of trustworthy messengers maintaining communication between our outposts. They haven't returned, so I want you to go downtown and see why that happened. Could be nothing, but Connor doesn't want any hiccups while he's up there in North Division preparing the attack on Skynet's central core.
Is there a problem with the radio?
The Annihilation line is within spitting distance of downtown. We suspect that Skynet will be intercepting all transmissions from that location. So for now, we're going radio silent. That's why I need you to go there personally.
Central core?
Skynet's main reactor, the source of all their power. We shut down the central core, we shut down Skynet. Connor's preparing the attack as we speak, so you understand we can't have any critical complications at this stage.
If you don't mind me asking, how did you end up here?
Excuse me if I act a little surprised, Sergeant. But no one in here thinks it's wise to ask their superior personal questions. But since you did, I'll humor you. So, how did I get here? The same way you did. I was born, raised, and given a gun. We don't really have a say in what we do we? Or do I assume too much? Was it any different for you? Why do you fight, Sergeant?
We don't have a choice.
Exactly. We're just going through the motions. Humans were fighting humans since the beginning of time. It just so happens that right now we have a common enemy. If it wasn't for the machines, we'd probably be fighting each other.
So, I guess we should thank the machines for teaching us compassion.
I guess we should. I have my special way of thanking them. A shot to the skull from a plasma rifle. Besides, I'm not a fighter. When I go out there in the middle of the night with my Westinghouse, I'm not looking for a fight. I look to seek and conquer. I'm not a fighter. I'm a bully.
What's the difference?
I don't treat them as equals. And although I know they're just machines, I want them to fear me. No one ever stands up to bullies. But I have to admit, it has its downsides. One of them being that no one ever asks me a personal question. At least not since Perry died. So congratulations, Rivers. Takes guts to stand up to a bully. I guess since your promotion, you got a little more cocky. Good for you. Rivers, you want to explain to me what the hell happened?
We lost downtown.
I know that much. But how's that possible? What happened to our defense systems?
Alvin says one of our soldiers came with an order directly from you to reset the target settings for non-lethals.
He said what? All right. This is what I want you to do. Find whoever is responsible for sending that order. All the messengers have GPS tracking, so we're keeping tabs on their location. Find them and bring them to me.
Understood.
And Rivers, despite what I might say about our resident egghead, I truly have a hard time believing that my men are incompetent. So expect the unexpected. And you know what I mean by that.
Do you think the infiltrator's back?
We won't be sure until you find those messengers and confirm my suspicion.
Now that you mention it,
What?
one of our soldiers said that it looked as if one of our guys led Skynet's attack.
That only supports my case. As soon as you know what's going on, radio me.
Who's Perry? You mentioned him before.
The best soldier I ever fought beside. He was the one who brought me into the Resistance. It's actually a funny story. Years ago, when I was just a kid, I saw a Skynet drone attacking some guy. Without thinking, I grabbed a rock and jumped on it. The guy was screaming the whole time while I beat the metal to the ground. Only when I was done did I realize he was trying to stop me.
Seems you were a tough kid.
Life didn't exactly soften me much. To survive, I embraced the savage it made me. He was a Resistance scientist, and that drone was one of his projects. So you can imagine he wasn't too happy when I smashed it to pieces. But he wasn't alone. There was this huge guy with a rifle on his shoulder, almost choking with laughter. I sure made his day.
Way to make a good first impression.
Sure is. That scientist later told me that was the first time he ever heard Perry laugh. Somehow, Perry and I connected. He taught me how to channel my anger and get it under control. He introduced me to Connor, and that's how I got to the 132nd.
Whatever happened to Perry?
Skynet got hold of our position. We had to leave our shelter. There were a lot of casualties, and he was one of them. He died a soldier. I'd never thought I'd be reminiscing about the day I met them. This may come as a surprise to you, but it was the first metal I ever destroyed.
First metal you destroyed was one of ours? Not a good start.
At that point, I didn't know that they could work for us. Or that humans could work for them, for that matter. But that's a different story.
You want me to break radio silence?
They have a head start on us. At this point, we can't afford to lose any time. You're still alive? Good. Apparently Skynet's got a real hard-on for you. So we figured why not use you as bait?
Aren't you afraid that Skynet will bring a lot of firepower if they know we're both here?
Afraid? No. Prepared for that eventuality? Yes. We've got eyes on the ambush site from every angle. If anyone shows up, it means they were listening.
What if it's one of our guys, or just a scavenger?
Too bad. We can't have anyone or anything sabotage our plan. Not this time.
This time?
We were very close once before. For years, we've been preparing for the final attack. But it took just one man to fuck everything up. That day, Perry, our previous field commander, died, and I inherited control of South Division. Since then, I've been making sure that no one fucks up again.
We've got movement.
Take position. What do you have?
A hooded man's walking down the street. Might be a scavenger.
Rivers, you saw him. Is it the same model? Is it the infiltrator?
I can't tell.
We're waiting for your signal.
I think that might be it.
You think?
Good enough for me.
Cease fire! Cease fire! Target down! I repeat, target
Go
down!
check him!
Eyes on the target. Proceed with caution.
Is he dead?
What the fuck? It's the target!
It can't away! Fire at will! What do you need?
Anything I should know about Dr. Mack before I leave?
Only that he can't be trusted, and he's highly manipulative. So you need to stay cautious.
Was Mack the one whose drone you smashed?
Yes. Yes, it was. I've never told this to anyone, but before I met Mack and Perry, I was wandering alone. Didn't have a map, so I drew one myself. The first people I came across were two guys, old enough to remember Judgment Day. We camped out together. They gave me advice, we shared some stories. Sounds nice, right?
A little too good to be true.
It was. I was too naive to notice it back then. When I woke up, all my things were gone, including my map. There I was, lost in the desert. Thirst and hunger. I knew I was gonna die. I passed out with my face in the sand. But next thing, I was lying in a bed, bathed and wearing clean clothes.
I'm guessing there's no happy ending to this story either.
You're starting to learn. Through the window, I saw thousands of Terminators. First, I thought it was a work camp, but it was something else. A Skynet research facility. They kept me alive, but I didn't know why. I thought I was the only human there. But after a while, someone came into my cell. A man. Well-dressed, clean-shaven. You want to take a guess who that was?
Your cellmate?
No. He was there out of his own free will. He was a traitor to his race. Bastard was selling every piece of knowledge the machines didn't have. In return, they gave him everything he wanted. When he was done stuffing his face with food, he had another request. He wanted a whore. It lasted months, until I got to wrap a towel around his neck and make his eyes pop. You don't want to see people for what they really are. I've seen their true face. That traitor, those two guys in the desert, Mac, they all showed it to me. It's not pretty. The truth is, the only reason I fight for the Resistance is because I despise people just a little less than the machines.
Yeah, if I ever get my hands on it, I swear to God.
Huh, you're back. How was Hollywood Hills?
Crawling with Terminators.
And what about Mac? How's he? Is he compliant?
Fine, but he needs Skynet security codes if we want him to reprogram that plasma rifle.
Fair enough. Talk to Alvin about that.
Okay, I will.
Did Mac say anything else?
No, that's all he said.
Okay. Talk to Alvin about those security codes and then come back to my quarters. I'll tell them to let you in. And one more thing, talk to Ryan. That buggy's been sitting there broken for too long. See if something's going on. I've got a suspicion that he's hiding something from me.
Where? Commander.
Welcome to the luxury part of the shelter. I hate living underground. But hopefully we won't have to much longer. Thanks to people like us, this war will end soon. You proved that you'll do whatever it takes no matter the cost. And so will I. Don't think your efforts go unnoticed. You know, I killed a man long before I killed my first machine. And was hurt by a man long before machines hurt me. Apart from plasma burns, I've got man-made scars underneath these tattoos that I'll never forget. On the good days, they don't hurt. And I feel like this world is worth fighting for. On the bad days, they make me want to quit. Give up and run like everyone else. But we're so close. Skynet's almost finished. So you can understand I can't run. I need your help, Jacob. I need you to get rid of Mac. He's unpredictable. He sabotaged our mission and killed our men before. I cannot let it happen again. I need you to kill him as soon as he reprograms that rifle. You look shocked. But I think I can find a way to persuade you. If you're into it, that is.
I am.
That's what I thought. It needs to be done, Jacob. It needs to be done.
Commander,
the door behind you.
Commander!
Rivers, you're alive.
What happened here?
An infiltrator got in. Brought lots of friends with him. We didn't stand a chance. Since they didn't go offline, I assume we did not destroy Skynet's central core either?
No. No, we didn't. It was an ambush. They moved it before we got there.
So this is it? We lost? We lost this goddamn war?
Not yet.
What do you mean?
I got the central core's real coordinates.
You have? I've got to learn not to doubt you anymore, Rivers.
We need to call Connor. He may still be able to stop Skynet.
Forget it. I couldn't get him on the radio for hours. You need to find him. You need to give him those coordinates.
First, let's get you out of here.
No. You don't have time for this. You have to leave me here.
I can't.
You're not gonna disobey my final order, are you? Before you leave, I've got a confession to make. There's a reason I wasn't so keen on you from the beginning. Remember that list of people Skynet marked for termination? I lied. I told you that you were number 3. The truth is you're number 2. Just behind Connor. You took my spot. And for the life of me, I couldn't understand why. But now I know. They're coming. You need to leave, now. Use a vent in the command room to sneak past them. And then find Connor, and give him those coordinates. Don't worry about me. If they come here, I'll just reason with them. I still have a couple magazines full of arguments. Now go! Good luck, Jacob.
We never found Baron's body in the shelter. She never stopped fighting. And if she's still alive, I doubt she ever will. She was the leader we needed in wartime. But I'm not sure if she'll find a place during this time of peace.